Yes. So gardening. So I've had a lot of people in talking about how they want to attract more pollinators in the yard. Bees, butterflies, all those things that get out there.
Hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds, the things that help pollinate. And the big hit this past week has just been butterflies,
Yeah.
and it does, I always kind of lose track of when the butterflies come through, when they show up, but you are starting to see quite a few more out there in the yard. So it's a good time to put out things that attracts those butterflies.
I agree. I saw swallowtails way early, like
Hmm.
March, April. It was
Yeah.
really early. Then the painted ladies, the little tiny, like half-sized ones that have orange markings all over them. And then the monarchs show up in May, sometime typically end of April, May.
Hmm.
And so now kind of everyone's out. All the butterflies are out. So it's kind of fun to watch them. Of course,
Hmm.
a lot of that is all about timing of flowers. Their
Hmm.
nectar, they need a place to take in energy, and flowers are their source. And then some water.
Hmm.
They'll be in kind of mud ponds and places where they're getting water and stuff.
Hmm.
So and all that's available now.
Right. Yeah, I did read that if you really want to attract the butterflies in, just having a little spot in your yard that has a little really moist, little muddy spot to that. They
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, so were your dogs. Your Labrador Retriever would go out there and lay right in and go, I'm
Oh,
coming in to lay down on that new couch you just got. You happy, Mom?
that's actually our little schnauzer the other day did that. There was a big puddle out at the store actually. And she looked at me and she just laid
Yeah.
out
Yep.
and flat laid out in it and just looked at me like, deal with that, lady. I was like, oh, little booger. But they're
But
fun.
dogs are fun.
Dogs are fun.
Cats don't
So,
do that. You should become a cat lady.
she-
You're a dog lady.
I'm
Never
a dog
mind.
lady. Our daughter's a cat lady. But butterflies, you digress. So a little muddy spot, perfect for them, but also a lot of the different flowers that you can put in. So butterflies like landing pads. They're not into the tubular stuff like the hummingbirds are. They're like flat landing pad flowers.
They're like plaid landing pads.
So
I
that's
say that. Yeah.
moonshine yarrow
Oh
is
yeah.
great for that. We got some new moonshine in that is just gorgeous. That bright yellow looks so nice out in the yard. We also got one called Desert Eve Red, which is a really
Oh,
nice red.
yarrows as well.
Mhm,
Oh,
mhm.
nice. Okay.
So super plants, got a hot spot, put a yarrow in it. You got a spot that you is a little drier maybe than some others. That yarrow is perfect for that.
Yeah.
The golden sphere coreopsis, which is a really round, it almost looks like a marigold.
Yeah. It's
A lot of
beautiful.
people confuse them because it's just got this really big flower to it. It's absolutely gorgeous, but perfect to put out there for those little
Both are
butterflies
yellow.
landing.
So yellows and
Hmm.
blues seem to attract pollinators better than anything else. So those are both yellows that are
Right.
strong.
Mhm.
Perennials. Those are all perennial. They
Oh,
come back
great
every year.
perennials, great perennials. Pincushion flower is another
Okay.
really good one for the butterflies. Has that real pretty purple, nice little pincushion
It
flower
looks like a
to it.
pincushion. The flower does. Hovers,
Mhm.
what, about 6, 8 inches above the foliage.
Right.
Just kind of wavers, and you'll see a butterfly on there. The wind's kind of blow
Mhm.
them around. They're just sitting there eating the nectar.
Right.
It's fun.
Lantana is another great one. So if you want a perennial one, the Miss Huff lantana, which is kind of an orangey yellow one. There's also Marianne, which is a yellow pink one. It's very,
Is that
very
perennial
pretty.
as well?
It is.
Marianne is perennial.
I had a customer come in, I think last week, and there's this picture of this huge bush, and I'm like, well, she was, what is that? I said, well, that looks like the Marianne lantana, and it was down at the Chino Library,
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
and it was
Yeah. There
beautiful.
you go. Great spot. And tough enough to take a commercial
Oh yeah,
kind of setting where they tend to get neglected more.
right.
There's less gardeners taking care of the
Yeah.
gardens. So perfect for the Chino Library. Take a
Mhm.
look.
Yes. Then we also have this perennial milkweed. So the milkweeds, they're laying the eggs on it more, right? It's not necessarily that
Right.
they're getting the nectar out of the flowers and stuff. So we have two perennial ones. We have the Cinderella milkweed. And we have the showy milkweed, and those are both perennial, so they're going to come back year after year, and they go down pretty cold.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, you
minus
can,
20 or
yeah,
15 or something like that. Really cold. Yeah.
right.
And the reason they lay eggs on that is the larva will come out and eat the milkweed. And as they eat the milkweed, they become poisoned to birds. So birds won't eat them as long as they're eating milkweed. If they eat other stuff, birds will go, oh, delicious. But milkweed turns them, and
Ah.
that's the reason that monarchs have a certain color,
Mhm.
striping. It's warning to the birds going, don't eat me because you know I'm going to be bad. I'll give you a stomach ache right now. If you eat me right now, because I've been eating milkweed.
Right.
In fact, some of the varieties of butterflies will take on the coloration of monarchs just because, well, birds know don't eat this. So
Right.
they just kind of, it's brilliant. Just nature is just so
Nature is
smart.
so smart.
Yeah.
That is true. We also have tropical
Mm,
milkweed,
yeah.
which is a little bit showier in flower, comes in the red and the yellow. That is a annual one, so you get one season out of it, but still beautiful, and you help the butterflies. So
You do.
why not put it
Pretty
in?
and helping the butterflies.
Right.
That's great.
And then, of course, butterfly bush. You
Yeah, number
can't, you
one.
have to have that. And everybody goes, does it really? Yes, it does. So they actually came out with a new one this year. It's called a sparkler series.
Sounds pretty.
It's really interesting. So it gets about 3 to 4 foot tall,
Perfect.
but the buds on it, instead of being long and spiky like most of your butterfly, they're kind of round and
Oh, pom pom
pom
like.
pom
Oh,
like.
neat. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like a
So,
sparkler.
right. So we have the pink sparkler right now. Really kind of cool, kind of different. So if you've done a lot of butterfly bush and you're like, God, I want something different, take a look at those because they do look different.
I like the smaller size butterfly bush because you just don't have to care for them as much. These huge butterfly bush, they'll get 10, 12 feet tall. They got to be cut back really hard, kind of like pampas grass. With these new series, you don't have to do anything with them. They
Right.
just keep them there and they're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lisa, we are out of time. So
Okay.
great ideas for
Mm-hmm.
attracting pollinators, butterflies, bees, the hummingbirds to your yard here from Waters Garden Center. We'll be right back.